We're going to, please keep eating, don't stop eating, and we're going to ask everybody to please come through the back doors. We're going to shut a couple of the doors, get the noise down a little, but thank you. Good morning, welcome. Welcome to CCA's 2018 Mobile Carrier Show. I'm Steve Berry, President and CEO of CCA. It's always a great pleasure to return to Vegas, and I'm pleased so many of you are here, old friends, new faces. Welcome. I would also like to thank those of you who are joining us by webcast. Thanks to our broadcast partner, RCR Wireless. Welcome to you at home. It's already been a busy morning, as you know, with the Fierce Wireless Breakfast and the sponsored seminars. Hope you're enjoying. I hope you had a chance to visit with your colleagues in the mobile world and make some new connections, potentially. There are lots of people to meet and many great events to attend, so please make sure you take advantage of all of it by downloading our CCA app for the latest updates. I think you'll find it very useful. Before we get started, and as we allow some folks to get something to drink, yeah, come on in the back. I would like to extend a sincere thank you to all our Pinnacle sponsors who have helped make this event possible. Ericsson, Huawei, Interop Technologies, Nokia, Sprint, T-Mobile, TNS, and ZTE. Thank you again for your support. So the theme of this morning is one I think everyone will find interesting: new ways to generate revenue. And I'm excited to present an engaging new format thanks to the recommendations of our CCA Board of Directors, especially the Trade Show Study Group. And over the past year, the board has been particularly focused on ensuring CCA is providing maximum benefits to our members, and many of our board members have provided their time and ideas, especially regarding the CCA events. When carrier board members said that they wanted to see solutions and services that help create revenue streams, we listened. So, to outline, we have 6 sponsoring companies go head-to-head to present their product or solutions that will help carriers capture additional revenue. Each company will have 6 minutes to pitch their idea, and at the end we want you that is, to be the judge for the standout idea among them all by voting for CCA's Best in Show. You may vote at the end of this session. I think you'll find cards on your table, and you can vote there, or you can vote at the CCA booth in the exhibit hall this afternoon. We'll announce the winner tomorrow morning during our keynote session. And so I said 6 minutes. I know I've talked to one of our presenters earlier, and I said, you know, it's harder to do a 6-minute presentation than a 20-minute presentation. So this is going to be a test for all of us, but I think a very exciting, interesting way to start it off. So let me get started. First up, we will hear from Amy McCune. She's Vice President and General Manager for the Customer Unit at Ericsson that cares for a majority of our members. And so Amy's presentation will be Unleash Your Network's Potential. Welcome, Amy.
Good afternoon. I'm here today to talk to you about the one thing, the one solution that can help all of you dramatically increase your revenue. Is anybody interested in hearing about that? Is there anybody out there that's a little skeptical that there's just one solution? Yeah, well, I'll let you know a secret. I am too. You guys have too much coming at you, far too many challenges for there to be just one path to increase your revenue. Think about it. You're trying to deal with how you're planning for your voice evolution. What's the best way to implement IoT? The insatiable demand that your customers have to have more broadband capacity. How do you maximize the spectrum that you have? The spectrum that you might think about acquiring, say for example, the 28 gigahertz spectrum in November. 3.5, what do you want to do with that? How do you evolve the network that you have today? How do you make sure that every dollar you spend is a good investment today, but is also preparing you for the future? And finally, how do you care for those government funds that you receive in the best way to provide voice and broadband capacity to rural America? There is no one silver bullet. There are a lot of elements for you guys to manage. You need a comprehensive solution. And therefore, I would say that Ericsson's business partner approach is a great way to solve many of the needs that you have to increase your revenue. Just a few examples. If you look at our ability to work with you on Volt-A and Voice over Wi-Fi, and then how you refarm that spectrum. Narrowband IoT and Cat-M as a way to think about how you're going to drive IoT revenue. Fixed wireless access as a solution for broadband capacity. New business models to improve the customer experience. We can bring LTE advanced solutions as well as 5G plugins to make your 4G network work harder and make sure that network is also ready for the future. I would say that we're here to help provide right-sized solutions, help you monetize those right-sized solutions, and also make sure that you are able to maximize the assets that you have. Now you may say, oh, that's pie in the sky, or perhaps that's just some slideware. Well, no, what I'm going to share with you are real examples in these 6 areas where all of you have identified through surveys and through our interaction with you that they are things that you need help solving, and that we are doing all of these with members of the association today. For example, hardware that's NR ready. These are our new NR radios that are shipping as we speak. Benefits today, 5G ready for the future. Many of you are deploying baseband 5216. Again, necessary today, 5G ready for the future. The other radio in this picture is a 600 megahertz radio. Several of you have spent millions, perhaps billions of dollars to acquire 600 megahertz spectrum. So this radio is ready to help you get a return on investment now, and it's also 5G ready. Fixed wireless access. We have trials that have been conducted with many of you, and that we are conducting in both 2.5 and 3.5 gigahertz. And the exciting part here is the propagation results in the field are even better than what we expected. So this is a great new way to improve your customer experience and drive new revenue streams. We have deployed our first Ericsson Network Management as a Service, and we have several more right behind that. It's a great way to help improve the customer experience. It also is a way to drive down cost and leverage your resources more efficiently. This is just a path on the way to several more as-a-service solutions to help you drive that customer experience. Massive MIMO. Lots of talk in the press about Massive MIMO. We've actually done one of the first trials, and we'll be shipping radios in about 3 months for real commercial deployment. It helps you with throughput, capacity, and for many of you, most importantly, reach. VoLTE and Voice over Wi-Fi, something that many of you are trying to figure out what you want to do. I would encourage you to talk to your peers. Some of you have already deployed a VoLTE solution with Ericsson. Many of you are in the process of deploying a VoLTE solution with Ericsson. So talk to your peers. We're here to ensure that you're making the right decision and that you are ensuring the best call quality experience. And then we're well equipped to help you think about how to refarm that spectrum so that you can get to that one IP network for all of your customers. Lastly, IoT. Thinking about the right use cases and how to monetize those use cases. It could be connected milk cows, or perhaps it's healthcare in rural America, hard to reach locations that many of you all serve. We're working to ensure that you're thinking that through and planning wisely to maximize the revenue. So in conclusion, I would say that there may not be one solution, but there certainly is one path. And that path can be joining with Ericsson to help ensure you're maximizing your revenues. I'd encourage you to stop by our booth 401, check all this stuff out, because it's there. And most importantly, the future is roaring towards you. Let Ericsson help you roar back. Thank you.
Thank you, Amy. Thank you so very much. Wow, a lot of stuff to consume in 6 minutes. Okay, let's move to the next presentation. Next, we'll welcome Andy Reinhardt, Director of Technical Solutions for Wireless Infrastructure at ZTE. Andy's presentation, entitled Innovative Solutions and New Opportunities for the Rural Market. Andy, it's all yours.
Thank you. Thanks, Steve, and thanks for the opportunity to be here today. To give you an update on our solutions and what we have to offer for the rural carrier market. So the last few years, really, the big opportunities here are to access more, in terms of new opportunities, access to more spectrum is really critical, right, as we all know. Fortunately, in the last couple of years, there's been several new things that came up that the FCC opened up, including AWS-4, 600 megahertz, as well as the 3.5 that Amy just mentioned as well. So I won't go into all of that in detail. Basically want to focus on a couple of things. The 600 megahertz incentive auction. A lot of you know that a lot better than me. You've participated. You have access to the spectrum now. Right now, we're in the 39 months transition period. One topic that I'm very familiar with, or that I have the opportunity to represent ZTE at, is the CBRS solution. In CBRS, it's a 3-tiered spectrum sharing solution. It's 100 megahertz of additional spectrum that came available past or underneath the 3.5 to 3.7 unlicensed band that currently existed. The innovation band is kind of very interesting because it opens up a lot more new opportunities in this space. Just to introduce our 600 megahertz solution, it's based on our 8854 RRU. It's very flexible in the way it can be deployed. It supports a full working bandwidth. It can be deployed as split RRU with 2T3R or 2T4R or as a 4T4R RRU. It has natural cooling, it's a high reliability solution, and it's been really worldwide deployed in different bands. To talk about our CBRS solution, we have a full end-to-end CBRS solution. CBRS is quite interesting because it is really it was termed the innovative band, or innovation band. It opened up new opportunities to a lot of different players as well, because it's a different way of accessing spectrum instead of the typical expensive licensed spectrum. They're utilizing a spectrum sharing solution where you have a spectrum access system that basically kind of manages the spectrum for you. There are 3 tiers. The first is the incumbent tier, where the federal incumbents are. The second tier is an auction PAL tier, and then the third is a general availability that should make it fairly easy for new entrants to the market really to access additional spectrum that you didn't typically have in the past. And we do have basically a full end-to-end solutions, including small cells, macro cells, as well as AAUs in the 3.5 space. It meets different installation requirements, just depending on the business cases that you see. We also have a full range of CPEs, indoor, outdoor, Cat 6, Cat 7, or Cat 12, depending on what your demands or what your use case is. Of course, I won't speak to it in detail, but 5G does bring a lot of new opportunities as well. where it's basically broken up into 3 different types of use cases. EMBB is basically high broadband use cases, including high definition video, HD voice, providing gigabit to the home, enabling cloud office, cloud gaming kind of things. You also have the massive connectivity solutions such as smart homes, smart cities, M2M, intelligent transportation that goes into URLC, which is the ultra reliability solutions, which kind of enables the Industry 4.0 or autonomous driving solutions. And we have worked, ZT is really a pioneer in 5G as well, so we've worked with, I think, about 110 different use cases globally in pre-5G, working with 20 major operators globally on bringing 5G to the forefront. I think we're continuously investing into this space. And then I have one last slide, smart cities, kind of talking about IoT. Really, what I wanted to bring here was just talking about there's a lot of opportunities in the IoT space, and really CCA members have really a leg up because you understand the rural carrier space much better than say, for example, the tier ones, right? You understand your market and what what the opportunities are in the IoT space. And with that, I think my 6 minutes are up, and I'd like to say thank you, and please come by and talk a little bit more. And thank you.
Thank you, Andy. All right, and now we'll hear from Mark Landiak, President and founder of Corporate Dynamics, a CCA training consulting partner. And Mark's presentation, he said he wanted to have some fun with it, so he's going to say, what's your problem? And so direct from Chicago, we hear from Mark Landiak. Mark.
Hey, how you doing? How you doing? Good to see you. Hey, oh, good to see you. How you doing? Steve, thank you for the invite. Much appreciated. Thank you so much. And lovely to see so many people here today. And direct from Chicago, Corporate Dynamics is bringing you some kind of excellent thing. Did anybody else find it ironic that Steve puts on a great show? And he gets all you people to show up in Sin City during Holy Week. Steve, nice job. That's unbelievable. Okay. So I got a question for all you guys. And the question is, what's your problem? All you guys got problems. We're here to help you solve those problems. As you saw on the last slide, Corporate Dynamics is a training and consulting firm. We've been in the business in wireless for 28 years. We know what we're doing, honestly. Take a look at this. If you got managers and salespeople who aren't maximizing their proficiency on every customer interaction, you got a problem. Yes? Give me some feedback here. So, if that's the case, you guys, you need to kind of look at Corporate Dynamics, because I got to tell you, we got a whole new generation of training for a whole new generation of people coming in to work for you. Look at them. There's 4 of these young people, very talented right there. They got a name for them. They call them millennials. And all these millennials coming in to work for your company, they need to be trained a little bit differently. They don't work the same way we do. They think a little bit differently. They're really creative. You got to make it fun. It's kind of like entertainment with those guys instead of just like entertainment, you know? So, if you need to help these people, help them in the areas of bringing in some new business. That's an important thing for us today. But it takes a little creativity. It takes something a little different. So we're going to do that. Another thing, upgrading and retaining your customers. Everybody's looking to retain their customers because everybody else is coming in stealing them from one another. So we're going to help you with that too. Now look at this next one, selling products and plans and accessories. This is all that incremental income that you're looking for, so we can help you there too. Think about this, device protection. I gotta tell you, if anybody knows how to sell protection, it's us, you know, we guys in Chicago. So we can help you with that too. If only $100 a day slips through the cracks of your business in a 10-hour shift, you guys are losing $36,500 a year in every one of your stores. You got 10 stores, that's like $350,000 plus, you know? That's a lot of simoleons. So let's look at what else we can do here. Oh, this is a good one. How many of you guys got competitors that are moving into your neighborhood, kind of snaking in on some of your business? Anybody got that happening? I bet you do. Well, I'll tell you what, if that's happening, you got a problem. Am I right? Yeah. Okay, so talk to us. We're going to look at your managers and we're going to help them coach the people, because if your managers don't know what they're doing, they ain't going to be able to help the best training in the world. So we'll help your managers. We'll work with your salespeople as well. We'll also work with your training department, because a lot of you say, I already got training. Problem is, has anybody ever come in and told you how good your training is? We'll come in, we'll work side by side with your training department, make it a little bit better. Have them do the training. Maybe we can give them some courseware to use. Now we got these new tools. These new tools are unbelievable, and a whole bunch of new strategies. Some of you were in my session that we just did this morning, right, guys? Who was there? Raise your hand if you were there. Was it fun? Yell me. Yeah, it was fun, right? We got some good training in, gave out some good ideas. I tell you what, you see that competition over there? If they're moving in your territory, you need to hire corporate dynamics, because what we're going to do is we're going to take those guys and we're going to beat them like a dusty rug. I'm telling you, we're going to kill them. Okay, here's another one. Some of you guys got these dealers that you're working with, and you got all kinds of folks that are coming in, and they're independent dealers, they call them. Well, if you got independent dealers and your dealers aren't producing what they should be, you got a problem. Or if you're looking to bring on more dealers, you still got a problem. We can help you with that. We're going to help you by providing some training and some expertise. Jackie, are you here? Are you able to stay around? Jackie, she's over there. Jackie Mallory from Carolina West. Hey, Jackie, did we come in and work with your salespeople a couple of months ago?
You did a great job.
Was it the best training? Did they tell you it was the best training they ever had?
Absolutely did.
They did, absolutely. Now, the other thing is, yeah, go ahead, you can clap. Clap a little bit. Sure, get a little energy going here. The other thing is, we came and we worked with her on her dealer programs. And she just ran, at our recommendation, a dealer conference. Did you not? Did your dealers not tell you this is the best direction they've had from your company in the last 2 years? Are they excited? Are you excited? There we go. Okay, good. All right, so if you're building a dealer network, we're your guys. I'm telling you, ain't nobody better. Let's look at this. So, let's say you're looking for a speaker. Say you're having an event or some kind of thing going on here. I don't know if Ron Whaley's here. Ron, you out there anywhere? No, he blew out of here. And anyways, we did a session for Ron. It was the best session he ever had. He brought a whole bunch of customers in. So if you got a big presentation coming up and you don't want to bore the tears out of your audience, give us a call. We'll build them a relevant training that's going to make their eyes pop. I'm honest to tell you here. Customers, agents, managers, don't matter who it is. We'll train them all. Bring them on in. Put them in a group. Put them in a room like this. We're going to wow them, and we'll give them something that they can walk away with and actually implement. Am I right, Jackie?
Right.
There we go. All right. And finally, if your employees ain't maximizing the profit of every customer interaction, you got a what? You got a problem. Think about this. You guys are in the activation business. Every activation is worth this ARPU of $50 to you. That's $600 a year. If just 2 activations slip through the cracks, just in a week, it's $104 a year. That's $62,400 in every single store. You got 10 stores, $620,000. People tell me, hey, is your training expensive? I said, heck no, you can't afford not to have our training because you're wasting so much money right now. It's slipping through the cracks of your business. You don't even know it. We'll show you how that's done. So, if you got a problem that we just talked about, we want you to give us a call. Now, on your table, there is a little card like this. It has the Corporate Dynamics logo on it right there in the bottom. I want you to fill that out and give it back to me. Tell me about your problems. We'll have a little conversation, okay? All right, thank you very much. You've been a wonderful audience. Thank you, Steve.
Yeah, appreciate it.
You're a fine man.
Thanks, Mark. I appreciate it. Yeah, Holy Week, I said it does depends on, I guess it depends a lot on what you're praying for, though, Mark. So, okay, next pitch comes from Griffin, Technical Operations Manager at West Central Wireless, who's presenting on behalf of Nokia. And Griff's presentation, Partnering with a CCA Peer. Griff, here
Thanks,
you go.
Steve. Thank you. And I have to follow Mark, so yeah, lucky me. So I want to thank Nokia, first of all, for the opportunity, for them giving up this precious 6 minutes. I know it means a lot to them to get in front of their customers, but I don't think over the years we could have partnered with a better company than Nokia, with a better vendor. And I think this opportunity they've given me shows their commitment to our success, and shows their commitment, I think, to this whole group, and they've helped us out over the years tremendously, for sure. So thank you, Nokia. Now I want to tell you that I'm not here to try to sell you anything. I don't have a piece of equipment. I don't have software. I don't have a fancy app or anything to sell you. I want to talk about a concept. I want to sell you on a concept that we've been talking about here at CCA and at all the other trade shows. We've been talking about this for years. Okay? And this is a concept that finally, with strategic partners like Nokia and like our friends at Trilogy, that has come out of concept phase into reality. And that kind of makes us excited. This is a concept that will save CapEx on any network elements. This is a concept that will help make budgeting for OpEx much easier. But more importantly, it should help us, and it will help us keep up with the demands of the network and make it a lot quicker. Make us keep up with our customers' demands better, and make that whole process much easier. And in the end, hopefully, like I said, save us some CapEx, and then some of these revenue-generating things that you've heard about this week and today in these presentations, it will help that implement those as well. But first, I need a little audience participation. Not quite as good as Mark's audience participation, but so who here believes that to be in the mobile business for the foreseeable future, that we're going to have access to things like VoLTE that'll be supplied by an IMS core? Raise your hand and say yes. Okay, that was a weak yes, but okay. All right. Now, who here believes that a carrier-grade Tier 1 IMS core is way too expensive? Raise your neighbor's hand and say heck yes. Okay. And then who just really enjoys writing those maintenance and software support checks every month? Yeah, I didn't think so. So at least we can agree on a couple of things, right? There's a couple of things that we can agree on, and really we need to be doing more of this. As a group, as an organization, we need to agree on more things. We need to work together more. We need to partner more, and we need to bring our networks together. And really that's really what I want to talk about today. And we need to be able to do it in an affordable way. So partnering together and do it in an affordable way. So I think here's another thing that we can all agree on, that there is vast competition for our customers out there right now, right? And we need access to those core network elements just like the vast majority of our competitors have, right? But we need it to be affordable. We need it to easily integrate those as well. So I think we can agree on those prices, on those things. Because I don't know about you, but if you priced an IMS core lately, right, there's just no good positive ROI on that. There's no way that we can offer HD voice to our customers and charge them for it. I mean, they don't care, it's voice, right? So there's not a good ROI on it. And it's just great that our major vendors have built boxes that'll do 200,000, 300,000, 400,000 subscribers. That's great. They'll do 750,000 to 1 million simultaneous sessions. That's good. We need that. But who in us here individually needs that? We might need it as a group, but who needs that individually? And we sure don't want to pay for that extra capacity that we're not going to use. So what if you had access to all those network elements? Easy access, ready access to all those network elements. And what if you had access to a nationwide, secure virtual network? Easy to plug into, easy access, and it brings all of our networks together. Now, don't you think that would be a good idea? I think it would be a good idea. It's kind of like renting a house or renting a business. You go to the space, you rent the space, you go sign up for electricity, you sign up for water, you sign up for gas if you need gas, you get those utilities. Now, do you know where the electricity comes from? Do you know where the source is? You might know where the water source is, but do you know how it gets there? Does it really matter to you where those critical infrastructure things, how they get to you? No. So the network should be the same way. It's kind of like rent a network. Why wouldn't we just rent a network? The elements are so common now. We could take all those common elements and share them amongst ourselves. And lastly, why would you want to partner with a CCA member? Well, why not? And we've been doing this for a long time. And I'm talking about more than just IMS core stuff here. Okay? West Central's been in business for over 30 years. I've been fortunate to be there almost 24 of those years. We have always shared parts of our network with other carriers, with our friends, with our neighbors. We've always done that. We also have subscribers ourselves. We understand how to run a quality network for our subscribers. So we would do the same thing for anybody else. We understand how to take care of that. We understand their needs. We understand their wants. We know how to run a network for that. We go to church with our subscribers just like you do. And I've said for years, rural customers, rural subscribers want to do business with the rural carrier. It's us that drive them away. So we need to partner together. We need to come together to do this. It's the only way that this group doesn't continue to get smaller. Thanks.
All right. Thanks, Griff. Appreciate it. Okay, now we're still on time. It looks like everyone is doing a great job. So now we're here from Tom Dowling, Senior Vice President of Sales and Wireless Business for Huawei Technologies USA. Tom's presentation, Huawei Innovations for Rural America. Tom?
Thank you.
Stage is yours.
Okay, this is where my slide says, "Don't be weird," and it's from my employees. So it could be telling. Anyhow, thank you all for coming and listening. I think we've heard some really interesting things, and the hat guy, I haven't quite figured that deal out, but that's okay. Let me just kind of give you an idea. I've been with Huawei for 15 years. And since our inception, so I don't know how familiar you guys are overall with Huawei, but let me just frame this, because the whole idea, the whole reason Huawei exists is really for our customers. If you all are a current customer, or you contemplate being our customer, or you've talked to customers, that's probably the single message. So just let me give you an idea, and then I'm sure I'll try to figure out a couple sweet ideas for you. Overall, we have 180,000 employees, right? And 80,000 are in R&D, and I'll comment more on that. We're in 170 countries, including the U.S. We have 15 R&D centers. We're number 70 in branding. When I first started with Huawei, there was no real brand, and now we're pretty high up there. And 83 in the Fortune Global 500. So our revenues have gone up. So I think we did like $100 billion of revenues. So we're used to moving quickly, and the only reason we can do that is because of our customers. So we serve, you all know, we serve every big carrier. We don't have the big carriers in the U.S. So we have been very focused on the CCA. And I think if you talk to the CCA members that have our stuff, they will say, you know, we're really good in terms of this customer focus idea. So change the slide, or is this my, yeah, change the slide. Okay, let me see. You know, this isn't easy, guy. I'm seeing these for the first time, too. So, let me go to this side. It's bigger print. Okay, so, one of the reasons that we can focus on the customer is, you know, when we talk about revenues, that's big revenues. 100 billion is big revenues, and we're just getting started. We're just a 35-year-old company, but the key is that we reinvest 10% into R&D, and we've all worked with different companies over the years. And the only time that I've seen companies start to falter is when they don't focus on the R&D. We absolutely focus on the R&D. R&D is the most important function within Huawei. And so that is the driver that allows us to bring solutions that enable you to make some more money. So that's critical. And here's a slide, and it's a nice slide, but basically it says, if you look at the customers, they're the companies, the big companies out there, we're right there. Not many people, I think a few, maybe put a little more than 10%, but not many. But 10% is good, and that figure will just rise at Huawei. And 10% on $100 billion, that's real money. That, if you can't do that, you can't sustain yourself. That's what drives our profitability. So, next slide. I got 2 minutes to go, so I can do this. Next slide. Oh, this is the next slide. Okay, so let me talk to you about a couple of things. So in our booth, and we hope you all go to our booth and see. So we try every year, we try to make the booth a little more inviting, so that the most important reason you come isn't just to get the coffee that's free. But, so this year we focus on a couple things. And one of the things is Massive MIMO. You know, we've deployed Massive MIMO. I mean, we deployed it, I think, in Japan last year. Deployed, right? A lot of people, you know, are working to deploy it. And I'm working on some situations now in the U.S. to deploy it. So the important thing about that is that's an R&D differentiator, right? If you don't have good R&D, you cannot do that. And you can't be a leader out there with that. So the important thing is, first you have to look at, it's got to have enough bands, right? It's got to, and so when you all look at that, it's got to have some bands that you can access, right? It's just like 5G. When people talk about 28 or 38 gig, and you don't have any of that. And that's what's happening with 5G and the fixed wireless in the U.S. You're kind of excited, and you kind of know that 5G is important, but you can't focus on that unless you have that. And the last thing is, I hope you all visit our booth, because we have Rural Star. So Rural Star is like a situation where you can use LTE backhaul. It's good. We bring a finished product. It's solar generated so that you can hit your most difficult rural areas. So please come to our booth. Take a look at that, and take care, guys. And I don't have a hat. And no kidding, I would never wear that hat. So, talk to you. Oh, this way.
All right, and we know now that Mark will not be able to sell his hat. All right, here we're getting very near the end of this rapid fire. So thank you, Tom. And so this is our sixth and final pitch, and it comes from John Dwyer, President and CEO of Interop Technologies. In John's presentation, Reclaim the Messaging Value Chain. And so as Ed McMahon used to say, here's Johnny.
Appreciate it. Good afternoon, everybody. Yes, I'm John Dwyer. You can call me Johnny if you want. I'm here to speak with you about reclaiming assets that are rightfully yours. being your customers. Since the advent of smartphones and your launch of true data networks, OTT parasites like Skype, WhatsApp, Facebook, Snapchat, WeChat, Viber, Line, and others have been using your networks to both lay claim to and monetize your customers. Their goal was to use you like a dumb pipe, and they did just that. You've bought spectrum and deployed expensive networks. You run telco-grade systems and continue to spend massively upgrading those networks and running your businesses, while these companies launched simple apps to leverage your excellence and create value that should have been yours. When WhatsApp sold to Facebook in 2014 for $19 billion, they were rumored to have only 50 employees. Really? They let you do the heavy lifting and leveraged all the advantages of your state-of-the-art networks and your customers to make billions. That is just not okay. We as an industry honestly just let it happen. The wireless community stood aside because we missed the point. Carriers were asking only this question: how do I bill my customers more? While our OTT attackers were asking, how do I grab their users? I'll monetize them later. The new internet mentality of seeing eyeballs themselves as valuable assets was at play while we were all stuck in our old way of thinking and just let them march on successfully by out-featuring and outplaying us. And the sad part is that we allowed it to happen all while you owned the two most valuable assets to brands, being the potential for ubiquity and the native messaging inbox. About 6 years or so ago, a group of companies, including Interop, we did try to address this situation by bringing RCS to market. But there were some issues, and one being the fact that you couldn't bill your customers for it caused it not to take off. And the OTTs marched on, uncontested, for those brand dollars. Well, not anymore. We're fighting back. It's 2018 and the world has changed. The wireless community is now standing up and creating an environment to leverage that potential for ubiquity and the native messaging inbox to make it the killer app. Using a fresh, new, standardized RCS as the underlying technology, a core group of players including Interop, GSMA, Google, Samsung, aggregators, brands, and operators worldwide have been solving the issues and creating an ecosystem to make messaging a platform, or MAP, a reality. And MAP is the mechanism for you to get into this new world eyeballs game, to engage your customers in conversational commerce, to reclaim the value chain and get on the road to monetizing your subscribers in this new world yourselves. The bottom line is this: brands do not want to use apps. They're way too complicated and ineffective. That's a fact. Brands want to conduct conversational commerce with your shared customers via their native messaging inbox. MAP allows just that, and again makes your messaging inbox the killer app. Operators around the world are jumping in and the ecosystem is growing at an incredible pace, with billions of subscribers represented and hundreds of millions already active. Unfortunately for you, the tier ones in the United States are racing towards their launch dates, with Sprint having already done so, and the others right behind them. You can expect most, if not all of them, to be launched this year, and not only allowing conversational commerce with and for other brands, but also seriously enhancing their own brands through a richer messaging experience, improved customer service collection and upsell experience as well for their customers, their own customers, by way of RCS. So while the level of monetization will grow exponentially over time as this MAP ecosystem matures, the reality is that the requirement to offer this functionality is already upon you. We at Interop Technologies don't want you to have to follow the tier ones again. We want you to arrive there now so they can't use RCS as a means to steal your customers. Further, we're absolutely committed to doing our part to drive this worldwide initiative, to load up the eyeballs and bring ubiquity to this ecosystem so brand activity accelerates rapidly. As such, we are offering RCS for free for the remainder of 2018 for those of you non-tier ones who sign up with us by April 30th. Now, we hate to put a deadline on it, but we're going to have to do this in phases to make sure our early adopters get the speed that they need. So sign up quickly. I have always promised to do my part to try to bring you solutions to help you compete. Like by bringing a complete IP network, virtualized, hosted, years ago. Like being in the cloud for 15 plus years when it wasn't cool or necessary for the business. We did it for you. And in this case, by way of our strategic partnership and peering with Google and others, with our involvement with the GSMA messaging labs, we bring the complete end-to-end RCS map conversational commerce solution to you so that you can participate in this global movement as it's happening. Get in the game now. Being a follower on this one could be very detrimental to you, but being a leader in this would be very meaningful to this worldwide initiative as a whole, your customers, and your companies. Please stop by our booth, which is number 315, to witness the power of RCS and conversational commerce firsthand yourself. This is absolutely happening. Wireless is reclaiming the value chain, and we at Interop are hell-bent on making sure that you participate along with the rest of the world. Thank you very much.
Thank you, John. Appreciate it. It's a pretty good CCA discount he outlined there. So, okay, thanks to all those participating companies. Let's give them all a big hand. We appreciate it. Okay, just a few announcements. I encourage all of you to vote. In the audience, please let us know your choice. You remember how earlier I said download the CCA app? Well, you can vote on the CCA app. You can vote in the back of the room by giving your cards to the staff in the back. If you're not convinced what the best pitch was, go by their booths. Everyone has a booth. Go by there, say hello, make your decision. You can vote at the CCA booth. We'll have a bowl there where you can put your votes in. So we'd like to get everyone's input. I know that everyone that spent the time, effort, and energy to do the presentations would like to hear from you also. So before we leave here, I wanted to give a couple announcements. I want to invite you to join us in the exhibit hall for coffee and some dessert after your nice lunch, right after this session. So the exhibit hall will be open from 12:30 to 5:30. So you'll have several hours to visit with, the exhibitors, place your vote again, and see the new things that everyone has to offer. And Emerald has a bag back there. You can put your ballots in on your way out. This afternoon's sponsored sessions begin at 2 o'clock, and at 3:15 we'll gather in the exhibit hall for happy hour, sponsored by Ericsson. And make sure you stop by the Ericsson booth, 401, for drink tickets. Very important item, get your drink tickets at Ericsson. The happy hour is a great time to obviously grab a drink, have some food, visit with old friends, get to see some new ones. After the exhibit hall closes at 5:30, then don't miss CCA's Viva Las Vegas party right here in this room, which runs from 5:30 to 8:30. Get your night started off correctly here in Vegas. And the party takes place, like I say, right after we shut down the exhibit hall at 5:30. So thank you, TNS, for helping sponsor the Viva Las Vegas party tonight. And I hope everyone enjoyed themselves. Did you like the format? All right. Good decision, board members. Thank you. Thank you. Have a great afternoon. Look forward to seeing you.